Hey everyone, welcome to today's thrilling plot. This is not your average movie, but a heart-pounding suspense story. So, they went to a train station using the protector's ID, but Xiao Lai didn't find the young man. While Old Shen was on duty underground, he found the target and boldly asked where Xiao Mei was hiding. But when the guy denied it, Old Shen dropped the bomb he had a picture. The young man didn't answer. Instead, he took Old Shen down and gave him a hearty kick. Thankfully, Xiao Lai arrived just in time. Xiao Lai swiftly drew his baton to halt it. As he turned to check Old Shen, the youth struck again. The young man panicked and dashed away, but Xiao Lai's baton hit him right in the leg. Now that's what I call a long-distance shot. Before he reacted, another blow struck his face. He blocked it with his hands, then was kicked downstairs by Xiao Lai. Xiao Lai knocked out cold, sending Old Shen into a panic. He grit his teeth and chased after the guy despite the pain. When the young man noticed Old Shen was hot on his tail, he booted the railing away and leaped down onto the grass. Old Shen could only watch in envy. Just as the young man turned back with a smug look, a car came roaring in and sent him flying. What a twist. The car didn't even stop, just swerved away. Old Shen rushed to the young man and started shaking him, asking where Xiao Mei was. But the young man could only gasp out, "Not me," before he faded away. And just like that, cops labeled him the murderer. The news spread quickly, and everyone tuned in via TV. But when Qiuhu saw the news, her hands turned into a vibrating mess. She hurriedly popped some pills, then waited for the magic moment to kick in, finally feeling a smidge better. But she never forgot the horror from back then, scared that history might repeat itself, so she kept quiet with the plan. Just when she planned to head home early, in walks Old Shen, questioning why she shut up shop so early. Since she didn't reply, Old Shen dove right into asking about her past troubles. He had a feeling she was still haunted by. After pondering Old Shen's words, Qiuhu finally decided to invite him in, stating she had no clue what the murderer looked like. She mentioned being too scared to see the culprit's face, but she definitely remembered two key details. One was that the murderer smelled really fragrant, and the other was that their hands had 6 fingers. Talk about unusual. But searching for the culprit with just that info was like finding a needle in a haystack. Old Shen figured he'd better visit Old Pio for some leads. When Old Pio saw Old Shen, he didn't recognize her. Old Shen pretended to be her friend Old Wu, and it worked. Old Shen shared the fresh info he had just gathered and sought Old Pio's help on how to track down the pup. But Old Pio's reaction left him baffled. She was a bit too dramatic, wasn't she? As Old Shen was about to shop for Old Pio, a rose bouquet caught his eye, reminding him of Dr. Liu. Combining that with Qiuhu's mention of a strong scent, Old Shen hopped on his bike towards Dr. Liu's place. Pretending to be ill, he saw Dr. Liu, and instantly noticed her thumb scar. Old Shen tentatively asked, "Did you have surgery?" The doc replied it was just a scar from an old injury. But Old Shen wouldn't back down, pushing, "I thought you had an extra finger removed." The doctor's expression turned ice cold in an instant. What a peculiar conversation. Old Shen cut to the chase and asked where Xiao Mei was. The doctor's mood shifted rapidly. She questioned how he knew, immediately thinking of the toy shop owner. She mused that Qiuhu hadn't even seen her face back then, so how could she know? At that moment, Old Shen made up his mind that she was the perpetrator, ready to pull out his weapon and end this. But before he could make a move, the doctor knocked him out and dragged him straight to the backyard. She opened the board and dragged him into a secret chamber where Xiao Mei was being held. Xiao Mei was tied down, unable to move, and Old Shen's heart seethed with rage at the sight. Just then, Dr. Liu brought in her wife, unraveling the last piece of the puzzle for Old Shen. Turns out, since Xiao Mei was taken, the doctor had been dosing her with anesthesia. By tonight, Xiao Mei will be completely paralyzed and unable to speak. Old Shen couldn't believe it. When Old Shen asked why, Dr. Liu coolly said her wife was just too annoying. She happened to spot Xiao Mei by the road and thought she looked just like her wife did when she was young, so the doctor decided to go down this dark path. Little did she know Old Shen had sniffed out the truth, ensuring her devious plan was one step away from being exposed. Just then, she grabbed the angle grinder to turn her wife into Swiss cheese, when suddenly bang. A gunshot saved the day. It was Old Pio, pointing a gun at Dr. Liu, demanding she drop the tools, but the doctor showed no fear. The doctor mocked old Pio she wasn't falling for it again, but old Pio decisively pulled the trigger, blasting off half her ear surprise. Blood gushed out, and while the doctor was in agony, old Pio freed old Shen, urging him to take Sayomei and run. But in that very moment, Dr. Liu hurled sulfuric acid at her, causing old Pio to drop her weapon in pain. Dr. Liu seized old Pio's neck, leaving her momentarily helpless. Seeing this, old Shen wanted to help, but old Pio urged him to bail out, no time to waste. Just as they stepped out, a gunshot rang out in old Shen's ears. The doctor had nabbed the gun on the floor.